Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is AbyssSays, and in this video I'm going to talk about the mechanics of the enemies in this Abyss, 4.5 Abyss, and what characters and what teams are the most suitable, the most best in this Abyss. So the first chamber, top half, there will be 3 waves, and each wave has 3 different aromatics. And these are not the elite aromatics that does the summons, they are just like the harder version of a normal enemy. And all of them has negative 20 physical resistance and 10% all types resistance. And they have a really interesting mechanic is that when their HP falls below 70%, they might have a chance to go into enhanced mode, which they will have enhanced attack, increased resistance to interruption, and it lasts for 20 seconds, and after that 20 seconds they'll get paralyzed for 8 seconds, and at that time they will have their type of elements resistance shred. Like for example, the Aromatic Sunfrost is cryo type, his cryo resistance will drop to negative 50, the Aromatic Day Thunder's electro resistance will drop to negative 50, and it's hydro for this Aromatic Desert Clearwater. So for the bottom half, Ruin Guard, Ruin Grader, I don't really think I need to explain about this because yeah, we beat these guys every day. But just to know that both of them have 70% physical resistance. So yeah, physical characters not really great on the bottom half this time. And they have 5 ways, and their spawning sequence will be Ruin Guard, Ruin Grader, Ruin Guard, Ruin Grader, Ruin Guard. So yeah, 5 in total, 5 ways. So on the second chamber, the top half will have this Hydro Helicho, and then Blazing X Metatro, Crackling X Metatro, and also this Helicho Berserker. So on the first, second, and fourth wave, we have Blazing X Metatro and Crackling X Metatro in each wave. So a pair of them on the first, second, and fourth wave. And we have 2 Hydro Helicho Rogue on the third wave and fifth wave. And we will have 2 Helicho Berserkers on field, and there will remain 2 on field. Like when you kill one, another will spawn, which it stays 2 on the field. And the maximum number of Berserker it spawn is 12. So after you kill 12 of them, they will no longer spawn. So chamber 2, first half, 5 waves. First wave, 2 Mitral Chills, second wave, 2 Mitral Chills, third wave, 2 Rogues, fourth wave, 2 Mitral Chills, fifth wave, 2 Rogues, and 12 Berserkers where 2 will remain on field until you kill them all. So 10 big Helichos and 12 Helichos, that's 22 enemies for you on chamber 2, top half. The Mitral Chills has 30% physical resistance, and the Helicho has 50% hydro resistance. So yeah, just beware of that. And on the bottom half, we have this experimental field generator. It's an old friend of ours. I don't really think I need to explain this a lot, but in case you are new to the Abyss, I will explain a little bit about that. When tackling this boss, the whole chamber will be like in the moon, where the gravity wasn't that strong and you can jump really high. The main way for the experimental field generator to attack is it sends out earthquake pulses on the ground, and you can just jump up to avoid it. How can you know when it's going to like release these earthquake pulses? You can just look at the core. The core will get brighter and brighter and brighter. When it's getting like really bright, you can just get ready to jump up. That's the main way of attack of this boss, and you will see it really frequently and it hurts a lot. And this boss has 70% jaw damage resistance, so yeah, just beware of that. And the third chamber, top half, we have the Ruin Great of God. It's the dinosaur max that doesn't fly. There's 2 waves, and both of them spawn in each wave, so 4 in total, 2 and 2. And they have 50% physical resistance, and same with the Ruin Guards, Ruin Graders, their weak spot is the eye. So yeah, if you want to paralyze it, you can just paralyze it so they won't move. I don't think there's resistance shred when you paralyze them, but they won't move, which is a really good thing for this, because it's really annoying to group them because they are really aggressive and not really aggressive at the same time. On the bottom half, we have this Solitary Swanee back to back. It has 70% hydro resistance and animal resistance, and 10% all type elemental and physical resistance. And when it goes into Adapto Energy mode, which is the hydro mode where you can freeze it and proc, shatter, or melt to paralyze it, and the animal mode where it summons 3 animal balls and you break it, it's going paralyzed. That's the Adapto Energy mode. Its resistance will just skyrocket, it will just add 200% to it. So yeah, it's the best to tackle the mechanic rather than to let it to have a 10-second phase for it to have like 200% resistance where you can just do basically nothing unless your buff time is like that long. Then yeah, maybe you can make use of the time and just ignore the mechanic. But for me, I would recommend tackle the mechanic, bring a cryo character, freeze it, and during the adapter energy mode, it does a lot of really strong attacks. If you could manage to tackle it, yeah, it would be really great because you can paralyze it. You don't need to deal with a 200% resistance boss and you can just avoid getting a lot of damage. So yeah, that's the benefit of tackling this mechanic. Just bring a cryo character. That will make your life in this half really easy. And not to forget the Abyss buff, Qilin could also deal damage, and also on the top half, soul damage will be increased by 600%. Charge attack cryo damage will like increase by 75%, which is a lot. So yeah, that's the buff for this Abyss. Yeah, that's not really much to talk about the enemies in this Abyss because there's not really much mechanics. We can just start to talk about the characters that are useful in this Abyss this time. So Mizuki of course, top half, soul damage. It's like really good on the top half because top half buff Sword, and Sword is also really good for good enemies. So yeah, Mizuki, top half. Bottom half, not really good because all of them are like single target enemies, so not really good for the bottom half. And for the third chamber, bottom half, the Swani, I don't think there's really much effect. The only thing is that the sword damage for Mizuki will like go really low, but she's just more of a support slash sub DPS this time, and also a healer. So yeah, not really much of an effect compared to other animal and hydro DPSs. So yeah, Mizuki, top half will be okay. Bottom half, not really recommended, but if you want to do, you can do it. Mavica top and bottom half, it's okay, but I would recommend the bottom half more because it's all single target DPSs and bosses. So when she does her burst, the damage won't overflow. Like doing 100k damage on like 50k HP Hilichos, not really, like the damage is like really overflowed. It's not really like damage effective, I would say. So yeah, Mavica, I would recommend bottom half. Cheska on the other hand doesn't have this problem because she's not burst reliant and she just needs her E, and then yeah, and also soul damage buff. So yeah, Cheska top half would get the buff, bottom half single target DPSs, not really a big problem. And she can just bring a cryo character and pyro character on her team, and she could just do freeze and melt all by herself. So yeah, Cheska top and bottom half, no problem. Kinich, I'm not really sure because bottom half definitely okay. He just needs a pyro character on the team for the Swani, unless you have him built really well and you can just like ignore the mechanics of the Swani, then yeah, maybe Kinich will be good on the bottom half. But on the top half, I'm not really sure that Kinich is like really good on doing AoE damages. I'm not really sure about his enhanced skill. The one is that he shot cannon. I'm not really sure if that's an AoE damage. If it is, then he's like really good on the top half, I would say. So yeah, Kinich, not really sure about the top half, but on the bottom half, if you are bringing a cryo character, definitely okay. Mulani, I would say on the top half because the group enemies, it's like really comfortable for her to like use her skill, pass through a bunch of enemies, and the wave momentum stack would just stack up. Not like single target enemies, you need to do U-turns. But no, you can just do circles and circle between these bunch of enemies, and you can just stack it up really fast. So yeah, Mulani on top half will be okay. Bottom half, if you manage to like ignore the Swani's 70% hydro resistance, then yeah, bottom half won't be a really big problem. Burning teams, I would say that the top half might be okay. If you are bringing AoE power damage dealers and general damage dealers, then I would think that burning is okay. On the bottom half, I do think it's okay, and bringing another cryo character doesn't like really affect how the burning works. They could also do like a really consistent pyro aura on the background and do melt. So yeah, actually burning teams are okay on the bottom half. Top half, I'm not really sure, but I do think it's okay. Cloran, there's not really much restrictions this time, except for the Swani, which needs a cryo shield. So yeah, Cloran could like bring another cryo character for survivability, like Layla, or any healers like Charlotte. Characters like them could like help on the Swanee. And on the top half, alright, so I learned it on the hard way, no overload on the top half. So yeah, if you want to play overload, bottom half, you go not on the top half. Back to Cloran, if like Cloran aggravate, Cloran chaser, or Cloran anything, top half you go except for overload. Bottom half, not really sure if you are going to bring a character, then yeah, maybe just bring some characters that could like proc, melt, or shatter. I would recommend shatter because if you are going to play overload, Chevreuse doesn't like allow other elements except for Pyro and Electro on the team. So yeah, I would recommend shatter if you are bringing a cryo character in the team. So yeah, Coran, top and bottom half, okay. Arlecchino, of course, top and bottom half will be okay also. Bottom half, melt team would be like really nice. Top half, any team like Vic team, Mono, Pyro, melt team, or would be really okay. Chiori, if you were to play Chiori, I would recommend top half because the bottom half you have the experimental field generator which has 70% jaw resistance. So yeah, top half I would recommend. So plunging teams, 3 characters, Garmin, Diluc, and Xiao. So we are talking about Garmin plus Diluc because they are almost the same Pyro Greatsword character. On the top half, yeah, I'm not really sure about plunging attacks would like knock back lighter enemies all around, but if it doesn't affect too much of your DPS, then I would recommend them on the top half. And also on the bottom half, if you are going for Garmin Xianyun or Diluc Xianyun with another character, yeah, then go for it. Go for the bottom half. No, not really a big problem because they are great sword user and they are pyro characters. So yeah, they could easily melt or shatter. And also they are doing plunge attacks. So plunge attacks are also blunt attacks that could proc shatter. So yeah, really good on the Swanee. So on the bottom half, I'm really sure they will do really well. But on top half, if plunge attacks does not do knockback or the knockback wasn't that much of a deal, then you can just go top half. And Xiao, of course, like last time, I do not recommend Xiao to beat the Swanee because of the 70% animal resistance, and there's not really much way you can reduce animal resistance. So yeah, Xiao on the top half, and also soul damage buff, and also group enemies. Xiao is like really happy on the top half. So yeah, just let Xiao go on the top half. Navia like Chiori, I would recommend on the top half, and the number of enemies is like, it's okay for her to like deal enough enemies and the damage to not be like that much scattered around. So yeah, Navia on the top half is actually okay. On the bottom half, like Chiori, 70% jaw resistance on the second bottom half. So yeah, not really recommended on the bottom half. Risley, of course, if you see the buff, bottom half, he goes. And another fact about Risley is that he could do freeze on the Swanee and proc shatter by himself with his charge attack. So yeah, if you're going Risley solo on the bottom half, you can definitely do it. On the top half, this time the enemies finally could be frozen. So yeah, if you are going top half, you want to play frozen, you want to play freeze, you want to play melt, you want to play anything, top half will be okay actually. Neuvillette, like on the last version, I've proven that if you have really good support, the Swanee's hydro resistance won't be like really much of a deal. You can just force it. So yeah, Neuvillette, if you have really good support, you can go bottom half. If not, you can only go to the top half. Or Neuvillette was just going to do like 9,000 DPS on the Swanee, which you are going to be there for 5 minutes, which it's not really great. So yeah, if you don't really have good support, top half it goes. And on the top half, it's group enemies, which is a Neuvillette playground. So yeah, if you don't have the build, you don't have the characters to go bottom half, just put it on the top half. Fermine, if we are going to talk about Fermine, we can also talk about Eula. I do think that if you want to play physical, you have to go top half because the amount of physical resistance on the top half wasn't that high. On the bottom half, you have 5 waves of mech that has 70% physical resistance. So yeah, that's the thing that I would like not recommend physical to go bottom half. But if you have a really good Eula or really good Fermine, you can actually go to the bottom half because they are really good on the Swanee because they are cryo characters, so they can proc freeze. And they're also great sword users, so they can just like do blunt attacks with their normal attacks that easily. Or you can just like switch teams. You have other chambers like done and only chamber 3 left, then yeah, Eula or Fermine on the bottom half would be okay just for the Swanee. Lini, I'm not really sure on the top half because I'm not really sure if Lini is like a really good AoE damage dealer. I know he's a really good single DPS damage dealer, but not really sure if he does enough AoE damage. That's something I have to like really look up. But on the bottom half, if he could bring a cryo character that would be really comfortable, like Layla instead of Zhongli. But if you can just like brute force it, then yeah, just brute force it, because he could do like a burst of damage. So yeah, I do believe that Liyue could like brute force it. So Liyue top half, not sure, but bottom half would be okay. Alhaitham. So before we talk about Alhaitham, I want to talk about Dendro teams in general. So Hyperbloom teams, I've seen that Hyperbloom teams with Chongyun, but I've also seen Hyperbloom teams without Chongyun, like with Sitlali. Like there's no really, when you like see the team, you are not really sure like who the hell you can proc shatter or melt with. But yeah, they could tackle the Swanee with just one Fire Catalyst, which I'm really shocked. Maybe that's something that I would learn like in the next week or two, and then if I manage to learn it, I will make a run and I'll make a follow-up video for this abyss. For Hyperbloom, of course, if you are going on the bottom half, you need a choir character, then yeah, not really necessary for Alhaitham and Sino. Hyperbloom on the top half would be efficient too. But if you are going for Aggravate, Alhaitham Aggravate, on the bottom half, maybe you can replace Layla with Zhongli, and then Alhaitham could like do hold E and then do punch attack, and then that's just the blunt attack he has, and you can just block shatter. And I do remember that Sino's Enhanced E is a form of blunt attack. So yeah, Sino Aggravate with Layla instead of Zhongli in the team would be good on the bottom half. Spread and Aggravate on the top half, they are okay AoE damage dealers. So yeah, top and bottom half would be okay. Tighnari is single target, like not like Alhaitham. Alhaitham could do AoE damage, but Tighnari could only do single target. So yeah, on the bottom half, replace Zhongli with Layla, and you are good to go. Just to remember that to bring a character that could proc shatter, not really burning because you are playing spread and aggravate. So yeah, Nilou Bloom, finally a group abyss, a group enemy abyss. So yeah, Nilou could definitely be really good on the top half, and on the bottom half it's single target. It's not really good for Nilou Bloom. So yeah, Nilou Bloom top half. Wanderer, it's easily on the top half because of the sword buff, and also it's all group enemies. So yeah, Wanderer on the top half, and on the bottom half, because of the Swanee has 70% AoE resistance, so it's not really recommended. But if you want to attempt the first two chambers of the bottom half, then yeah, it's okay. Ayato because of the Swanee, unless you are going to Ayato hyper carry, which I don't really recommend. But if you are going Ayato like melt with Kazuha or Shilonen in the team, then yeah, maybe he could ignore the 70% hydro resistance, but I'm not really recommending that. On the top half, although the Hydro Hilichurl Rogue has 50% hydro damage resistance, but his HP is like much lower than the Swanee. So yeah, Ayato is much more recommended on the top half. Ito, same like Navia and Chiori, Jaw damage resistance, second half, bottom half, the experimental build generator. So yeah, Ito, Jaw team, top half. Raiden, I've tried hyper carry. Top half will be okay, and if you are going bottom half, she could really bring like cryo character, because the only thing you are going to proc is super contact, which is like not really useful. If you could make use of the time, the 10-second time where the Swanee is going in adapter energy mode, then yeah, Raiden could go hyper carry on the bottom half, and also Overload and Rational would be okay on the bottom half. And Overload, and also like I said before, Overload is not okay on the top half. Not okay on the top half unless you are okay with your enemies bouncing around, not being knocked back by your Overload attacks all around the chamber, and you are going to run around the chamber, run around the domain to like kill them one by one and having a hellish time to group them, then yeah, you want to play Overload on the top half, then you can go Overload on the top half. So if I were to recommend, Rational, Hyper Carry Raiden on the top half, bottom half would be okay. Overload especially not recommended on the top half, bottom half would be okay. Yoimiya, a really good single target DPS, good for the bottom half, not really good for the top half. Ayaka, she was like a little bit buffed by the buff on the bottom half. She does a little bit charge damage during her rotation. If she want to go bottom half, it will be okay, because in her team there will definitely be Shilonen or Kazuha, like both of them, for the cryo resistance shred or cryo damage bonus, which they could proc shatter with dual attacks and plunging attacks. Ayaka bottom half would be okay. Top half, the enemies could be frozen, so yeah, will be really good for Ayaka too. So yeah, Ayaka top and bottom half would be okay. Hotel like Alhaitham, like Sino, like Tighnari. If you could replace Layla with Zhongli, then yeah, bottom half, the Swannius mechanic, you will be really comfortable on the bottom half. But if you don't want to replace Zhongli, if you want to be like Hutao, either Yelan or Xingqiu, and then the third slot you can put other characters like Rosaria or Sitlali. I forgot about Sitlali. Sitlali is also okay. Yeah, just to remember to bring a prior character in the team. Hutao is okay because she could also do melt, which doesn't like reduce that much of her attack. So yeah, Hutao bottom half with a prior character would be okay. Top half, I do think it's okay because it's just there's not really much restriction. So yeah, Hutao top, bottom half, remember to have a prior character that will be okay. She will be okay. Ganyu, of course, with the buff, the prior charge attack damage bonus, of course Ganyu will be happy with the buff. So yeah, Ganyu on the bottom half, just to remember to bring someone to proc, shatter or melt. But I do think that it's necessary because either you are going to play Ganyu melt, or in general circumstances Ganyu needs support like Kazuha. Kazuha would do punch attacks with his E, and also Silonen, dual attacks could proc shatter, and also Zhongli, when you summon his shield, that's just also considered as one attack. So yeah, on the top half, Ganyu is also like a really good AoE damage dealer. So yeah, Ganyu top and bottom half would be okay. Tartaglia, Child International, I do think it's a really good AoE damage team. So yeah, Child International top half would be recommended. On the bottom half, if you wanna ignore the Swanny's 70% hydro resistance, and if you want to bring another character in the team, which you could, if you really want to do that, I would recommend replacing Kazuha with Sitlali, and then you can just use Xiangling and Bennett to proc melt. If you really want to do Child International on the bottom half, then yeah, just replace Sitlali with Kazuha. That's all. Qilin, I'm not really sure because like Qilin is the only character that I'm not really familiar with because I'm not really seeing a lot of people playing Qilin. But I do think that Qilin is like okay on the bottom half, and bring a cryo character just to proc melt would be okay. On the top half, maybe she could bring like a grouper like Venti, and then she could like throw bombs and then do AoE explosion damages. I do think her attacks are AoE. So yeah, Qilin, I think top and bottom half would be okay. Kaching like Alhaitham, Sino, just to remember if you want to play Aggravate or something like that, you can just bring Layla as the shielder and go bottom half. Or you can just like play normal Aggravate with Kazuha in the team and just do Electro Swirl, Aggravate, something like that. Yeah, Kaching top and bottom half with Layla as the shielder, it will be okay. And on the top half, if you are lacking some damage, you can make use of the buff and bring some sub DPS plus animal supports like Venti. Just remember to bring groupers because they could like help you group, and then animal could be like really good supports because they have the VV set, and yeah, they could also like help you to do some extra swirl damage. So yeah, just to remember to bring animal groupers. So yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. So there's not really much mechanic to talk about in this Abyss. It's just more of a DPS check. So top half, AoE attacks, animal characters are like really the best on the top half, and then AoE damage dealers on the top half would be okay. The only not good characters are single damage dealers, and on the bottom half, not really recommended physical damage dealers, dual damage dealers, and animal damage dealers. Hydro damage dealers could like do a little bit better because they have like really good hydro supports like Sitlali, Shilonen, Kazuha. You have characters like those. So hydro characters are not as affected as animal, dual, and physical damage dealers on the bottom half. So yeah, except for those characters, and then just to remember to bring a cryo character, yeah, then you are good to go on the bottom half. So yeah, I do think that's pretty much it. So I may or may not make a follow-up video. That depends on whether if I could learn how to do the Cryo Hyper Bloom team without proccing Shatter on the bottom half. So yeah, that's all for now. If you find this video useful, you can leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what are your thoughts about this Abyss and what questions you have. I'll try to answer you with all my might, with all my knowledge, and yeah, that's all. I will see you next time. Bye!